there were cities, before there were nations, before history had a name,
there was only water, an endless black ocean stretching beyond imagination.
And according to one of the oldest creation stories in North America, the world you live on right now was born on the back of a giant turtle. But this is not just a myth. To the Ojibwe people, it was memory. A sacred truth carried through generations by firelight, ceremony, and story. Tonight, we enter the mysterious world of Turtle Island. According to the ancient Ojibwe tradition, creation began with a great spiritual force. Creation began with Kiche Manitou, the Great Spirit. The Great Spirit dreamed the universe into existence. Mountains, rivers, forests. Animals, the sun, the moon. Every living thing carried a spirit, and every spirit had a purpose. In this worldview, humans were not masters of nature. They were the youngest children of creation, and the weakest. But humans possessed one unique gift: the power to dream. Dreams were believed to connect people to wisdom, visions, and destiny itself. Everything existed in balance until disaster came. One day, the sky darkened. Rain fell without end. The oceans rose higher and higher. Until the entire world disappeared beneath water. Mountains vanished. Forests drowned. Humanity was wiped away. Only the creatures of the water and the birds above the waves survived the endless flood. For generations, there was nothing but ocean. Then, something strange happened. A lonely sky woman descended from the heavens. The animals watched her drifting above the waters with nowhere to rest. So they gathered together to save her. And that moment would change the world forever. Among the surviving creatures was a giant turtle. Wise, ancient,
silent.
The animals asked the turtle to rise from the depths and offer his back as land for the Sky Woman. The turtle agreed. Slowly, the enormous shell emerged from the endless sea. The Sky Woman stepped onto the turtle's back, but there was one problem. There was no soil, no earth, no life, only shell and water. So the Sky Woman asked the animals to dive into the dark depths below and bring back mud from the bottom of the sea. One by one, the strongest animals tried. The beaver failed. The loon failed. The otter failed. Even the great swimmers returned empty-handed. The water was too deep, too dark, too cold. Then, the smallest creature stepped forward. The muskrat. The other animals laughed. How could the weakest succeed where the strongest had failed? But the muskrat dove anyway. Minutes passed, then longer. The animals feared he had died. Finally, the muskrat floated back to the surface, barely alive. But inside his tiny paws was a small piece of earth. And according to the legend, that tiny piece of mud changed the world forever. The Sky Woman placed the mud upon the turtle's shell. Then she breathed life into it. The earth began to grow. And grow. And grow. Until an entire island formed upon the turtle's back. This became known as Turtle Island. To many indigenous nations across North America, Turtle Island became another name for the continent itself. Not a land conquered by humans, but a living being carried through eternity by sacrifice, cooperation, and balance. In the story, the heroes are not warriors, not kings, not gods, but animals, and the smallest among them becomes the savior of the future world. But Turtle Island was never just a creation story. It was a warning, a philosophy, a way of understanding existence. The legend teaches that every living thing is connected. Humans depend on animals. Animals depend on the earth. And the earth itself is sacred. Strength alone does not save the world. But the humble muskrat succeeded. Balance is greater than domination. And nature is not property. It is family. That idea feels strangely relevant today, especially in a world facing environmental collapse, rising oceans, and disconnection from nature. Maybe that's why the legend still survives. Because deep down, humanity knows the world cannot survive without balance. Some myths disappear with time, but Turtle Island endures, passed from storyteller to storyteller, generation after generation. across centuries, not because people feared it, but because they recognized truth hidden inside it, that all life is connected. Even the smallest being matters, and that the earth beneath our feet may be far more alive than we ever imagined. So, the next time you see a turtle, remember this ancient belief that once, long ago, the world itself rested upon its back. If you enjoyed this journey into forgotten mythology, subscribe for more ancient mysteries, indigenous legends, and untold histories from around the world.